The books you won't put down. Grab the House of Lazenberry series by author Daniel Webb. Since his controversial interview at the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, the books can't stay on the shelf. Grab the series, The House of Lazenberry, The House of Lazenberry 1970H, and The House of Lazenberry, A Time to Heal. Link in the description box.
It's Mike Ross, also known as Mike on the Mic. He's getting ready for his upcoming 2022 comedy run. He'll be kicking it off at Bitty Brand's Stress Factory Comedy Club. Caroline's on Broadway, Punchline Philly. You don't want to miss him take the stage at the DC Improv. Then he'll be coming to the Atlanta Improv and at Chocolate Sundays Comedy Show in Los Angeles, California.
And then when I pushed him, of course, there's going to be a bunch of people who just call me a hater and that's it, right? But I think that we should expect more from ourselves.
Did you have an opportunity to hear about the Young Thug and Gunna trial, them being caught up on the Rico charges? Part two to the question will be, are you aware of the movement now that a lot of executives, spearheaded by Kevin Liles, that they pretty much don't want rappers' lyrics to be used against them in court? They want to separate the entertainment, from the actual lyrics. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't have any problem with that legislation, but I would say, why would you have to create laws to protect you from dumb shit you do? How about you just don't do the dumb shit in the first place? If you kill somebody, you don't fucking rap about it. Like that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, in my opinion. I'm not disrespecting. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that.
Right.
But, unfortunately, a lot of hip hop is built on authenticity, keeping it real, like you rap about what you really did, and I get it. And then, unfortunately, some parts of the culture really have gotten disturbing. When you look at drill rap and the rap is used to communicate either what you did or what you're about to do. And again, this is all pushed by corporate America. This pushed by corporate America. They find hungry young black men who don't have other opportunities, and they say, "Hey, just go out here and do whatever the hell we tell you to do, and you'll make a lot of money, you'll get a lot of fame, you get a lot of women." And what, unfortunately, a lot of young artists, especially, don't see with that yet is that there is a deep, dark downside to getting all that attention. I talked to my daughter about Young Thug about 30 minutes ago, and I told her we were talking about money, and I said, the thing that rich people understand about money, the smart ones anyway, is they understand that when you have money, you got to be quiet about it. If you get a lot of money, you don't tell everybody about it. You don't go out shining and showing off and getting all this attention, because it's going to make you a target. People are going to come at you with sob stories. They're going to try to rob you. They're going to try to sue you. They're going to try to scam you, the whole nine. So one of the downsides, unfortunately, that they're dealing with is the same thing John Gotti went through. When you're getting all that attention, you're drawing attention from, of course, you're going to get attention from the girls and the fans, but then you also get attention from the haters and the jealous guys and the guys who want to kill you. Then you get attention from the feds, because they're now building their career by arresting you, following you around and checking the studio to see if you got any weapons or drugs in the studio. So it kind of becomes this sad, vicious cycle where they fall right into that mousetrap, largely because they're not getting mentorship from the right people. I have heard guys that have gone to prison. There was that one other podcast. I forgot the brother's name, but it's a really good podcast. I think it's $1 million worth of game or something like that, where I think there was a brother who had done 20 years in prison who was really explaining like this is what they're trying to do to you. Yeah. And I really hope that guys can kind of hear that, because this was very predictable. And so going back to that law, I hope that they pass the law not letting the lyrics be used in court. But I also hope that we understand our own law. Like, we make our own code to say, look, if you're going to do something, you don't have to rap about what you did. Like that, I just kind of think that somehow separating hip hop and saying, okay, this is entertainment and this is street life, I think that's unrealistic, because hip hop is a genre that's built on authenticity. If people really don't think you really are a gangster or a thug, then people won't love you as much. Like, I can't go out and pretend to be a street thug, because that's not what I am. People would laugh about that, right? Yeah. So I kind of think, what it does is it puts the black man in an unfortunate trap, where the thing that they encourage you to do is the thing that is most likely to lead to your demise. And the young guys fall for the trap first. Like, I think about like Bobby Shmurda. He was young. He didn't know what he did. He didn't have a father around to tell him, like, hey, be careful. Now you saw what happened to him, and it's going to keep on happening for a while. I wish those guys the best. I don't think they deserve a RICO charge. RICO laws were built to do terrible things to people. They are draconian and unfair, and I hope that they make it through this. But I do worry about them because when you say that word Rico, that's a very scary term, and I hope that everybody can kind of learn from what they're going through.
Absolutely. We talked about it on the show, and we kind of gave criticism to Kevin Liles because although and the CEO of 300 Entertainment, he wanted to protect Black art, but refused to protect that Black man when it came down to putting out those lyrics and knowing what it would do in totality if somebody with the wrong hands, i.e. the feds, got a hold of it and started kind of doing some research. And then we kind of talked about the financial gain that came from Young Thug and the popularity. He was the main cow over at 300 Entertainment. And we see how it seems like media now takes a look at Black empowerment, like protect Black women, protect Black art, and they're weaponizing it for their own financial gain. They know it's needed, but now they're kind of sneaking in their own little financial gain or their own little agenda to kind of put under the let's protect this Black art. But are you really trying to protect Black art? Or are you trying to protect your financial gain? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to protect Black people other than Black people. Yeah. You know, the Black man should not look to other people to protect you because you are a man. You're supposed to protect yourself. So, you know, when other people, executives and people making money and all this off of the music are coming in claiming to be doing something because they really care about you, you should automatically not believe them. It's not that they can't care about you. It just means they care about the money first. Yeah. You know, you're not the top priority. Your life is not the top priority. And E40 has been, you know, sharing lots of game for a long time. When he wrote that song, They'll Find a New Nigga Next Year, you know, he basically explained that you are a disposable commodity. So when you go out here and you get dead, you get killed or you get locked up, they're just going to replace you. And that's how business works. That's capitalism. You are a product on a factory assembly line. You're not so much a human being. So I'm not saying that all these guys are malicious and evil and terrible people. I'm saying that it's not their job to care about you. That's what my father would say. He would say it's not that other man's job to protect you from yourself. That's your job. You protect yourself. You protect your family. You protect your community. So really, I think that sure, if they want to make a law that says you can't use lyrics in court, I think that's fine. But we know for a fact that if you are known as an artist that has a lot of authenticity in terms of like you're really rapping about real stuff and you are silly enough to rap about it or go on Vlad TV and snitch on yourself, you're telling them where to look, right? Mm-hmm. You're telling them which cold cases that they can go look up and, you know, and I just don't understand any of that. I guess it just comes down to the drug of power and the drug of fame and all those things do affect your brain like a drug. And I think that when you want that fame and you want that power that bad, you'll do anything. You'll follow the crowd. Studies show that people will follow the crowd. 75% of all people will follow the crowd, even if they know the crowd is wrong. Mm-hmm. So a lot of young people will follow something stupid that somebody else did because because that person got rich and famous off of it. But even though they know that bad outcomes are going to come, they'll do it anyway. So there's no recipe for common sense. There's no pill you can take to get rid of stupidity. So people are going to continue to do it. And I just hope that they wise up a little bit.
What do you see hip hop going, let's say, in the next 5 to 10 years? Because it seems like it's becoming more and more of a death and jail culture. It doesn't seem like it's getting any better. Like we talk about a lot of, we see a lot of people that get killed, passed away. Nipsey now, his alleged killer is at trial right now. Where's hip hop going if this message continues to be so negative and so destructive, in your opinion?
I think with hip hop, it's like to ask like which way is hip hop going it's like asking which way are human beings going, right? It's going in so many different directions. There's so much. Hip hop is so diverse. You guys know that better than anybody. And so think about it. I mean, Drake's probably not going to end up dead or in jail, right? But some artists that might, right? And also remember, hip hop has gained a lot of range over time because the art form has evolved. It's like there was a time where jazz music was only for teenagers, and then all the artists got older, and so you had some teenagers doing jazz, and you had 80-year-olds doing jazz. So right. I think hip hop is going to just be very diverse, and so. if you're talking about the specific strand of hip hop that is causing the most disturbing outcomes, I like to believe, I'm hoping that maybe some of these young guys might wise up and get better mentorship. But until the conditions of our community change, until they, you look at the South Side, West Side of Chicago, where there's violence and death everywhere, and then artists come out of that, and then the music reflects that culture. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't know where art and life separate. You don't know where art meets life and vice versa. So, we have in Chicago a lot of artists that get killed. And it's like, yeah, partly because you're rapping, because you're getting all the attention, but the rap didn't kill you. It was like the street life blended with the rap that led to that person's death. So I think that in that space, you're going to have a lot of tragedy. You're going to have a lot of pain. Unfortunately, a lot of young guys just don't listen. Even when I was young, I didn't listen to everybody. We all make mistakes. Mm-hmm. But I do think that you're also gaining this OG class. You're gaining guys like Ice Cube and even Jay-Z and a few others and Kanye and others that as they age and as they evolve, mm-hmm. They're able to provide the kind of support and mentorship that young artists need. Spice One, who's I think one of the greatest hip hop poets of all time, I loved one of the interviews he did where he was kind of explaining Rico charges and the police and feds and all that, and I think that that's really valuable information because I think young artists, the smart ones anyway, will listen to that. Right. So some of the stories are going to be tragic. It's never going to stop. But then some of the stories, I think, are going to get better. And you're actually going to start seeing artists even do better things economically. You're seeing some artists really connecting with the Black community. I think that we should applaud Kendrick Lamar for making one of the most beautiful albums ever. First video, my 19-year-old had me watch, where he had all the different faces, Will Smith and Nipsey Hussle and everything. I said, oh, he's basically saying that we need therapy because we're all fucked up and crazy. That's a great message, and I love that, man. And so you guys, remember, these guys are geniuses, right? So it's just a matter of helping to continuously persuade them to use that genius in a way that's going to help your community and that's going to do something other than just make white people dance. And so that's, to me, that's what true art is. Kendrick Lamar is a true artist in my view. So I think that there's a lot to be excited about in hip hop, but then there's a lot to be sad about. And these deaths are not going to stop. That's probably going to continue.